Who wouldn't want to come to Australia, a sunburnt country, a land of sweeping plains? But these little blighters today weren't invited and have taken over the joint. Cane toads are first up on the top 10 most invasive species in Australia. Hey, just like in Australia, everyone wants to come to our channel, so make sure you subscribe and like and pass us on to your mates. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, 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 good on ya, cobber. These bumpy little fellas were introduced to the land down under back in 1935. Someone thought bringing these guys from South America to control pests in sugarcane fields would be a brilliant idea, but that kinda backfired. Crikey, cane toads are like the Usain Bolts of the amphibian world. They quickly multiplied and spread like wildfire across Australia. So why are these toads so incredibly successful invaders? Well, first of all, they have a wicked defense mechanism. If someone messes with them, they unleash a toxic goo from their glands. Poor Aussie predators like quolls and snakes chomped on these toxic toads and the results were detrimental. Sadly, the impact doesn't end there. Cane toads think they're the bee's knees and they gobble up anything in their path. Native insects and frogs, it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet for them. This wreaks havoc on local ecosystems and throws the balance all out of whack. It's not good news for our unique Australian wildlife. Now we have the untamed world of the European red fox, another invasive troublemaker mucking up in the land down under. Now, you might wonder, how did these foxy fellas end up in Australia? Well, back in the 1800s, some folks thought bringing European red foxes here for recreational hunting would be a splendid idea. What could go wrong, they said. A lot, it turns out. With their luxurious fur and cunning ways, these sneaky foxes soon got the hang of the Aussie lifestyle. They made themselves right at home, and that's when they started multiplying. Now let me tell you, these critters are top-notch predators. They've got a nose for trouble, and their favourite hobby is snacking on native small mammals and ground-nesting birds. The economic and ecological consequences of these furry invaders are no laughing matter. When foxes go on a munching spree, it can lead to a ripple effect on the entire ecosystem. With fewer small mammals around, predators that rely on them for food might go hungry, and some plant species that depend on those mammals might struggle too. And let's remember the impact on farmers and their livelihoods. Foxes can cause havoc on agricultural lands, raiding chicken coops and causing mischief. It's enough to drive a farmer bonkers. We're hopping onto the story of a furry invader that has left its mark all over Australia, the rabbit. Now let's rewind to the 18th century when European settlers thought, hey, wouldn't it be a good idea to have some rabbits around for a spot of hunting and a taste of home? So they brought a few cute little bunnies to Australia, not realising what a big mistake it would be. Fast forward a bit and these bunnies had other plans. They multiplied, well, like rabbits. But as cute as they may seem, these rascally rabbits are a real threat to the Australian ecosystem. Their appetites are something else. You see, rabbits are voracious grazers and have a particular taste for our native vegetation. They chomp away at young plants and saplings, leaving some of our native species struggling to survive. Heavy grazing can lead to soil erosion as well and disrupt the natural balance of our delicate ecosystems. Crikey, it's a bit of a rabbit-induced environmental crisis. Their munching frenzy can leave some of our furry and feathered native friends without enough food and shelter. Our trusty mates, the foxes and feral cats, are happy to lend a helping paw in keeping the rabbit population in check. Back in the 1800s, someone had the brilliant idea of introducing European carp to Aussie waters for some fishing fun. But little did they know, these carp were about to shake things up. They adapted faster than a fish to water, making themselves right at home in our lakes, rivers and streams. These crafty carp became one of Australia's most notorious aquatic invaders, multiplying like nobody's business. European carp are bottom feeders, stirring sediments while munching on aquatic plants and animals. But this buffet-style dining has a murky consequence for our native aquatic plants and animals. The water turns into a cloudy soup, not very tasty for our local aquatic residents. And as the carp chow down on everything in sight, they leave little room for our local fishy friends to thrive. It's a tricky balance between finding a solution and preserving our delicate aquatic ecosystems. Please like, subscribe and comment. You are essential to our ecosystem. The notorious black rats in Australia are seafaring stowaways. Black rats hitched a ride on ships back in the day, and once they set foot on Aussie soil, they wasted no time in making themselves at home. But these sneaky rodents brought more than just their cheeky charm down under. They also brought some unwanted souvenirs. Diseases. Black rats became notorious carriers of diseases, harmful to our native critters and even humans. Not a very welcoming gift, I have to say. These rascals didn't stop at spreading diseases. They're munching their way through crops and disturbing our native birds' cosy nests. You see, these crafty climbers are like the acrobats of the rodent world, giving them easy access to crops and nests high up on trees. These black rats are expert breeders, and with their lightning-fast reproduction, they can quickly turn into a rat pack. Now, feral pigs were first brought to our land for farming, but some escaped and went rogue. Their destructive foraging habits can turn a picnic spot into a pigsty really quickly. They'll root for anything edible, from roots and tubers to fruits and crops. Their excessive rooting can lead to soil erosion, damaging the delicate balance of our ecosystems. And when it rains, where does all that soil end up? Yep, you got it, our precious waterways.
And retire.
This vibrant beauty was initially brought to Australia as an ornamental plant. With its lush green foliage and mesmerising flowers, it's no wonder why folks fell for its charm. But here's the catch. Lantana is a master of disguise. It quickly outgrew its welcome and started taking over like green wildfire. This uninvited guest needs to play nicer with others. Its aggressive growth chokes out native vegetation, leaving them with little room to thrive. Authorities have been hard at work, trying to control the spread of this aggressive invader, but trust me, it's no walk in the park. Lantana is one stubborn plant. Its seeds spread like wildfire, carried away by birds and animals, making it a real challenge to keep in check. Don't get me wrong, some areas have successfully tamed Lantana, but it takes time, dedication, and a lot of elbow grease. Community involvement is the secret sauce to victory here. When locals team up with authorities, we become an unstoppable force against Lantana's invasion. Imagine strolling through an area free of Lantana's green grip. It's like uncovering a hidden treasure trove of native flora. Leave us a comment on which one's your favourite, and most importantly, please subscribe. Asian honeybees were only sometimes a part of the Aussie buzz. They were accidentally introduced, and now they're causing quite a stir. Our native bee species, bless their little wings, now compete fiercely. Asian honeybees are like the new kids on the block, shaking things up. And while they're great pollinators, this sudden surge in their population can spell trouble for our agriculture and the ecosystem. Picture this, Asian honeybees competing with native bees for nectar and pollen on our farmlands. It's like a sweet showdown with serious consequences. You see, our food crops depend on these busy bees for pollination. But if the native bees lose out, it could lead to reduced yields and economic headaches. Beekeepers and experts are working hard to monitor their spread and take necessary actions before things get sticky. Feral cats are small but mighty hunters that have wreaked havoc on our native wildlife. These crafty felines were sometimes roaming our lands. They were brought over as pets, but over time they turned feral, tapping into their wild instincts. Their predatory prowess poses a serious threat to our precious native species. Our unique and sometimes delicate Australian wildlife is facing a formidable opponent. Unfortunately, some of our furry friends, like bilbies, bandicoots, and small marsupials, have felt the claws of decline due to feral cat predation. It's not all doom and gloom though. We're not sitting idle while our native mates are in danger. We've got some tricks up our sleeve to manage these feral feline populations. One tactic is trap, neuter, return, where feral cats are humanely trapped, neutered, and released. It helps control the population without resorting to more drastic measures. The water hyacinths are beautiful yet troublesome aquatic plants that have taken over our water bodies by storm. These invaders didn't belong here initially, but due to accidental introductions, they found their way to Australian waterways. Once they settled in, they wasted no time establishing their dominance, spreading rapidly across our serene water bodies. But beneath their enchanting appearance lies a scary reality. These dense mats of water hyacinths can disrupt the natural flow of water, affecting water quality and causing problems for our native aquatic plants and animals. As they multiply, they create a suffocating environment, making it challenging for our local aquatic species to thrive.
And that's how it gets its spread.
Cheers for watching and good on you, mate. Now, if you want to be a cool cobber, give this next video a burl.